And then finally, and by far the most ridiculous, every business in Chicago that employs more than 100 people will now have to pay a new tax of $21 per employee per month. This idea was so bad that even bumbling idiot Governor of Illinois J.B. Pritzker said he was not going to support it. Watch.
I am absolutely foursquare opposed to a head tax for the city of Chicago. It penalizes the very thing that we want, which is we want more employment in the city of Chicago. And it makes it very hard to attract companies from outside of Chicago to come into Chicago, and harder for companies that are in Chicago to stay.
J.B. Pritzker is a legend when it comes to implementing new ideas on how to create new taxes out of thin air and take more of people's money. Hell, this man would charge a breathing tax if he could. And when he says that your tax plan is bad, you have entered a realm of stupidity that is only reserved for a select few. Not only would it force major companies that have, let's say, 5,000 employees to really look at, do they need 5,000 employees, or could they get away with 3,500? And now 1,500 people have lost their job. But it would also disincentivize any small business from ever growing past 99 employees. There are some policies that are dumb. There are some policies that are dangerous. And then there are policies that are dumb and dangerous. This proposed tax policy would obliterate economic activity in Chicago. Who thinks of a policy that punishes businesses for creating jobs? But would you be surprised that all of this stupidity can be avoided? Brandon Johnson is just choosing not to. The city of Chicago paid a consulting agency $3 million to figure out how the city could streamline efficiencies and cut costs. And in their report, they found $1.4 billion of savings that would take the city from a $1 billion deficit to a $400 million surplus without having to institute any of these ridiculous tax increases. And what did Mayor Johnson decide to do? Of course, he rejected all of their ideas. Take a look.
City council members are giving the mayor's budget team a grilling on an outside report that the city spent $3 million on to come in and make recommendations on how to save money out of this massive $16.7 billion budget. So Ernst & Young, they did the report. They came up with as much as $1.4 billion in savings. And these alders want to know, well, how come the mayor isn't incorporating the majority of this into his budget that attempts to close a $1.15 billion gap? Now, the mayor said it's just one of many considerations that he has to take in.
I just hope that they spend, the same amount of time in this EY report also looking at how corporate interests are continuing to get away with without having to pay their fair share in taxes. I think all of it requires our attention at this time.
So this report done by Ernst & Young, thus the slang EY, it recommends things like consolidating city real estate, some of the fleet of city vehicles, consolidating the way the city doles out contracts, and then $100 million in savings by having city employees pay more toward their health coverage. But alders are complaining that only about $80 million of these ideas and recommendations was included in the mayor's budget proposal.
So he admitted what his intentions are, just like any other communist. It's not about cutting costs. It's not about being efficient or effective. It's not about getting the most value for your dollar. It's just about the city wanting more of your money because they think they're entitled to it. It's about taking money from the pockets of hardworking Chicagoans and putting them into Mayor Brandon Johnson's pocket. He believes the people work for the government and he's the head of the government, so he's basically king. This is the consistent behavior you see from leftist politicians. The mayor of Seattle is a socialist. The mayor of Chicago is a socialist. The mayor of New York is a socialist. And all their goals are the same: to suck all of the lifeblood out of the city, out of the businesses, out of the citizens, and concentrate it all in City Hall, increasing and expanding their power.